Hello and welcome to a gardening update as well as a storm damage assessment video. Yesterday, 22nd of May, got a pretty heavy torrential downpour. Within an hour, all of the buckets under the roof were completely full of water. Water gushed everywhere. The bottom of the road there was flooded. I had a waterfall of mud coming through the garden. The barn floor pretty much underwater. Also, the roof leaked in places it hadn't leaked before, but the plants have survived. Got some radish already coming up, so that's all good. Strawberries have survived. It also did hail, luckily not too heavy of a hail. The car is inside safely. Now you can see the water just rushed over here, so usually that far it stays dry, but the amount of water that came down, nothing could stop it. The drainage systems, they did do their thing, did work as much as possible, but this is also not the usual amount of water that comes. Let's see over here. Not too much has happened. The corner piece there, I still need to put back up as that came down with the storm. Overall, it's looking nice and green here. Very shady. Here inside there, it's all completely wet, so that needs to dry out. Fruit trees over here, cherries are starting to come now, ripen up. A cherry tree, although this season not as many cherries as last season. There's already quite a few on the ground due to the storms, but can't do much about that. This is a cherry tree, there's one or two, but it's not looking too great of a cherry season so far. Last year all of the cherry trees had cherries, this year not so much. This is an apple tree, apples are starting to come. And this is a mirabelle or a plum tree. They are starting to fruit as well. Then we got a cherry tree over here, but not too many cherries. Peach tree there has some peaches on it. Don't know how that will be. Last year they were very dry. This one doesn't have anything, it seems. Oh, there's a couple over here. This one has a few high up, so you need the ladder to get those. Now the cherry trees out there have one or two, but not looking happy. And this plum tree, mirabelle tree, has got fruit, it's full of fruit. Walnut tree, well, the walnut will only be here towards the end of the year. So here's another cherry tree. There's a dead cherry tree that needs removing. And this cherry tree has got some cherries, but again, not that many. Let's see, this one here is now probably the best producing one. You can see there's quite a lot starting to ripen. I had a few yesterday, but there's also quite a lot of bad ones. Apple tree, this one's full of apples. Another apple tree there, a couple of apple trees along the side of the fence. Also got apples. That's a different type of apple tree. The two color apple, red yellow type apple. That one's coming well. This is another cherry tree. Only a couple of cherries this time. So one walnut tree is a lot leafier than the other. That's a walnut tree, and that's a walnut tree. So another cherry tree. Again, not many, one or two. Not much to be happy about. So this is a sad walnut tree encased in brambles. Let's see if I can get those brambles all down. Another walnut tree, again encased in brambles, and here we can see what the storm did. So the farmer that plowed the field and sowed it had an accident. I don't know, distracted driving, or he hit an obstacle. He came down my hill and plowed the hill along with it, so that created a weak spot, and it's the bottom of the hill from both sides. All of the water runs down here, and I had a lovely river of mud flowing through the garden. Luckily it's at the bottom of the field, so I'm not too concerned. And at the same time it filled in some of the holes that are here. You can see just the force of the water that came down there and there. It just smashed along here, and it hit the tree. Some went to the left, some went to the right. The one that went to the left, it followed the fence line, and then it flooded the road. So it'll take a little bit for the grass to come back up, but as I said, it did fill in the holes because it was quite holy here. So I'm not really too concerned. Obviously it has now weakened that hill side, that mud, so in future rains it will probably happen again until it dries out, and then the brambles can regrow. Also, in case you're wondering, this is a chestnut tree. So all along here we got brambles. There's also a couple of trees that have berries that are blue, but they're not blueberries. They're a lot more tart. We're walking underneath a walnut tree. This tree produced the most walnuts last year. Here's a fig tree. Let's see, I think it's still too early for the figs to start growing, but it's nice and green. Now I got another little cherry tree here and a cherry tree there, and that's a walnut. And then we got the corner over here that needs a bit of a cleanup. There's a couple dead tree branches here. Alright, so this cherry tree does seem to have a few more cherries, but they're not quite ready yet. The other cherry tree also has them, but they're still quite small. So, don't know what's going to happen to them. And the stick marks a root, so that I know where it is, because I keep hitting it with the ride-on mower. And the poppies there will come back out. They closed up for the storm. So the birds use this as a bird bath. So that will have to stay or find another spot in the garden. And then the lawn needs mowing again. The hortensia's coming out nicely. The rose is growing well. The fuchsias too. This here is looking a little bit wild. So these are some berries. Don't really see the berries there. Hopefully they do something. Last year they didn't taste very good. Got some nice roses here. We also have in the mix a grape tree, grapevine. You can see the grapes are full. So let's see what happens this year. Last year, because it was so hot and dry, nothing happened. There's the actual vine, so it's growing out of there. Somewhere twisted around all of the plants. I don't know what that bush is. So here we go. So this is some kind of fruit tree. This tree needs removing. It's dead. It's literally only held together by the vines. And here are the peaches. The tree is suffering from some kind of leaf disease though. Alright, I think that covers the garden area tour, as well as a brief storm damage overview. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.